It was the summer of 2023 when Ethan Parker stumbled upon the instrument that would change his life forever. In a dusty back room of an antique store on the outskirts of Bangor, Maine, hidden behind stacks of broken radios and cracked vinyl, he saw it. A cherry-red electric guitar with a gleaming sunburst finish. Its body seemed almost too perfect for its age. A small brass plaque near the neck read, "Dominion 1950. Ethan, a 22-year-old aspiring musician, felt a shiver run down his spine. There was something hypnotic about the guitar, as though it were watching him. Ignoring the creeping sense of unease, he bought it. At first, the guitar played like a dream. The strings hummed effortlessly under his fingers. Every chord resonated with a fullness Ethan had never experienced, every riff dripping with raw emotion. He posted videos online, and overnight, his channel exploded in popularity. People called him a prodigy. He called it Dominion. But Dominion was more than an instrument. It started subtly. Notes lingered longer than they should have. Harmonies Ethan didn't intend to play slipped into his songs. One evening, as he practiced alone in his room, he felt the guitar vibrate against his body, not from his playing, but from its own volition. He froze. The strings strummed themselves, forming a melody both beautiful and wrong. A low, almost imperceptible whisper accompanied it. "Play for me." Ethan shook his head, laughing nervously. "I'm imagining things," he muttered. The next morning, he woke to find scratches on his forearm, shallow but deliberate, spelling out the word, "mine." By the end of the week, his friends noticed a change in him. Ethan became withdrawn, obsessed with the guitar. He spoke to it in the dark, as if it were a living companion. At night, he could hear faint notes drifting from his room, even when he wasn't playing. Dominion's influence was growing. One rainy evening, a local music historian, Clara Whitmore, visited Ethan after hearing about his newfound fame. She examined the guitar, her face pale. "This is not just rare," she said, trembling. "It's infamous. There are stories, rumors really, about a guitar made in 1950 by a luthier named Nathaniel Cross. Legend says he imbued it with something unnatural. Every musician who owned it disappeared or changed." Ethan laughed nervously. "It's just a guitar." Clara shook her head. "No, Ethan. It's alive. Instruments carry energy. But this carries a will." That night, the guitar attacked. It began in whispers, turning into screams. Strings snapped on their own, striking Ethan like tiny blades. The room darkened. Shadows clung to every corner. Ethan felt hands he couldn't see gripping him, pulling him closer to the instrument. He tried to drop it, but his fingers were glued to the fretboard. "You belong to me," the guitar hissed. Ethan awoke hours later in a daze. His reflection in the mirror was wrong. His eyes were darker, his pupils stretched like those of a predator. Dominion rested on his bed, untouched by the chaos, yet gleaming with a sinister satisfaction. The transformation was gradual. Ethan's music turned darker, hypnotic. Fans who watched his performances reported nightmares afterward. Those who met him in person described a cold aura, as if he carried a shadow inside him. Weeks later, his bandmates confronted him. "Ethan, this isn't you. You're different. Stop playing that thing." Ethan smiled, a slow, unnatural curl of lips. "It's not me. It's Dominion." The guitar demanded more than music. It demanded power, attention, devotion. Ethan found he could no longer leave it alone, no longer sleep without it by his side. When he tried to sell it, the guitar's strings tore themselves apart, leaving deep, angry gouges in the wood, forming letters. I am eternal. The breaking point came during a live stream. Ethan began playing a song he didn't know. Each note summoned shadows from the corners of the room, growing into humanoid forms that moved with the rhythm. Viewers called the police, but by the time they arrived, the house was empty. On the walls, written in blackened scratches, were the words, "He plays for me now, forever." The house remained abandoned for months. Locals whispered that sometimes, late at night, faint melodies drifted from the boarded-up windows, songs of sorrow, rage, and something otherworldly. And in a pawn shop in Bangor, covered in dust, a cherry-red guitar gleamed under a single flickering light. The brass plaque read, once more, Dominion, 1950. And somewhere in the shadows, it waited for its next musician.